With Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, the fierce rivals who dominated college basketball, faced off on the largest stages and shaped an era of competitiveness, the basketball world believed it had seen it all. However, the whole narrative is now being flipped by startling new rumors. The rivalry that once made headlines may have been concealing something far deeper, according to viral gossip threads and insider leaks. Rumor has it that Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark's on-court rivalry was really a covert way to conceal an off-court relationship, a forbidden love tale. Yes, you heard correctly. There are now wild rumors that the guys whose rivalry lit up stadiums had a friendship that extended far beyond basketball. Internet detectives are analyzing every glance, handshake, and muttered phrase captured on video, asserting that the tension was amorous rather than just competitive. Social networking is booming. Fans' reactions are mixed, with hashtags like "Ha, Clark and Reese," "Love and Rivalry," and the secret WNBA story taking over feeds. Some claim it's the decade's most surprising storyline surprise. Others refer to it as absurd. However, one thing is clear: basketball is no longer the only topic of discussion. It concerns feelings, secrets, and a rivalry that may not have been what it first seemed to be. There are rivalries in every great sport: Bird versus Magic, Sharapova versus Serena, Manning versus Brady. In women's basketball, it was Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark, a matchup between two superstars whose skill, tenacity, and strength of character elevated collegiate games to cultural occasions. They were seen as complete opposites by the world. Caitlin, the Iowa shooting superstar, remains composed and cool under duress. Angel, the feisty LSU leader, was fearless, vocal, and not hesitant to make fun of her rivals. They not only played the game together, but they also lit stadiums on fire. Their paths first crossed during March Madness in a way that will never be forgotten. Angel Reese was leading LSU with swagger, rebounds, and a resolve that challenged anybody to disbelieve her, while Caitlin Clark had already made a name for herself as must-watch TV, making three-pointers from illogical distances. The tension was intense when their teams clashed. Social media was ablaze, TV numbers skyrocketed, and venues were crowded with fans. Then the time arrived. As LSU won the national title, Reese gave Clark the "you can't see me" signal. It was audacious. Its shh was bold. It became immediately recognizable. Headlines shouted competition, and sports media labeled it the gesture heard around the world. They were portrayed as foes by commentators, and supporters choose between Team Caitlin and Team Angel. However, in the weeks that followed, keen-eyed admirers began to see something odd. There were quick looks, faint smirks, and post-game exchanges that didn't quite fit the ferocious storyline among the trash language and intense rivalry. Here's a hug. There's a grin. During a free throw stoppage, Caitlin was seen muttering something to Angel, after which Angel smiled before abruptly becoming serious once again. No one gave it any consideration at first. Then, as usual, social media investigators rewinded, zoomed in, and examined. Videos showing Caitlin and Angel laughing. Together at the handshake line appeared, with their laugh being a little quieter than the others. In another video, Caitlin was seen supporting Angel during a press conference, stating, "She's a great player, and people should respect that." Fans took note of the earnestness in her tone, even though it wasn't very sportsmanlike. Theories abound. On Twitter, was the rivalry overblown? Under the flames, was there respect for one another? Or was there chemistry, the craziest of all? When pictures of both players from a WNBA promotional session appeared online, the rumors went into overdrive. Sitting side by side, Angel and Caitlin seemed uncommonly at ease. In one behind-the-scenes video, they were seen laughing while covering their lips during a private joke. The fans went crazy. Inundating comments read, "Enemies? Or another thing? That isn't energy of rivalry." The Instagram likes followed. After a game, Angel shared a stunning snapshot. And guess who subtly liked it? Caitlin Clark. Screenshots are promptly shared. "Caitlin doesn't just like anyone's posts," said fans. Others cited Caitlin's seldom active Instagram posts, which made that one seem like a neon sign. By this point, the internet was looking for hints in addition to basketball. Titles such as "Clark x Reese, is this more than a rivalry?" became popular on Reddit and TikTok. With subtitles that read, "From rivals to something more," edits surfaced, intercutting their on-court conflicts with love music. Even sports commentators had to address the fervent supposition. During a section, one ESPN commentator chuckled, saying, "I don't know if it's love or rivalry, but whatever it is, it's good for the game." Fans retweeted the statement incessantly, adding rainbow flags and fire emojis. Even if Caitlin and Angel didn't openly respond to the commotion, their silence just served to feed the obsession. Because there was no denial, there was room for imagination, and imagination flooded it. The rivalry has solidified itself as one of the most talked about sports stories by the conclusion of their debut WNBA seasons. However, a growing segment of the internet questioned if the most intense competition in women's basketball was really concealing a romantic relationship behind the scenes, rather than merely who would prevail on the floor. Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark became news royalty as a result of the rumors that followed, if the rivalry itself had made them famous. The rumors of a covert affair between the league's top young players had spread like wildfire by the time the WNBA season officially began. Media Day was the innocent beginning of it all. During combined interviews, rookies Angel and Caitlin were seen together. As reporters questioned them about their famous rivalry, they were sitting next to each other and making lighthearted jokes, but their glances at one another didn't suggest that they were rivals. It didn't even seem to be straightforward co-workers. Fans took note. Clips with the tagline, "This isn't rivalry, this is chemistry," were making the rounds on TikTok within minutes. The notorious mic'd-up incident followed. During a Fever vs. Sky game, commentators played a clip of Caitlin saying to Angel, "Nice move, I'll get you back." Angel chuckled, but not in a nasty way. That chuckle went viral. After TikTok added romantic music and slowed it down, the video quickly amassed millions of views. "This is not a rival's laugh," fans said. "This is an infatuated person's chuckle." Detectives on social media put in extra hours. They went through behind-the-scenes WNBA videos, team trip postings, and Instagram stories. Fans referred to screenshots of matching bracelets, similar trainers, and even overlapping Spotify playlists as evidence when Angel and Caitlin were seen in the background of each other's clips, sitting next to each other on the bus, conversing quietly in tunnels, just like they would in a true crime investigation. By the middle of the season, people on the internet were questioning when something will be released rather than whether it was happening. Globally, the hashtag #ReeseClark began to trend, often accompanied by rainbow flags and love emoticons. Fans made fan cams that combined their on-court highlights with fictitious off-court romance, creating ship names such Tar Clarkies and Targ Anglin. Nor was the media able to resist. Speculative articles started to appear in entertainment publications. "From rivals to something more?" headlines cried. Even late-night comedians made jokes about it, with one joking, "Forget the WNBA finals, the real championship is happening." Off the court. ESPN segments teased the idea during halftime shows, with one anchor smirking, "Their rivalry has certainly brought them close, perhaps closer than we think." However, teammates started to feed the fire as well, so it wasn't only fans and the media who started it. Players grimaced or made cryptic remarks when questioned about Caitlin and Angel's rivalry in interviews. A Fever teammate slyly added, "They compete hard, but off the court, let's just say they don't hate each other." That one phrase alone went viral online, seen as an indirect confirmation. One Sky player smiled and stated, "They're definitely closer than people realize." Coaches were also drawn into it. Once, Caitlin's coach was seen on a sideline camera urging her, "Don't get too distracted out there." The video went viral right after, and supporters thought it was about Angel. Over dramatic stills of the two ladies looking down at each other between free throws, memes slapped the statement. Sponsors also seized the opportunity. With the slogan, "Stronger Together," a big sports brand unveiled a joint campaign that featured Caitlin and Angel. The commercial showed them battling, joking behind the scenes, and casually touching arms. Supporters went crazy, accusing the rumor of being fueled by subliminal marketing. With comments like, "They know exactly what they're doing," the TikTok modifications of the advertisement received millions of views. The largest clue to date was then revealed, an off-day sighting. According to a fan, Caitlin and Angel were observed eating together at a restaurant in Chicago. It didn't matter if the picture was blurry, far away, and unclear. It was seen as breaking news on the internet. Why would rivals eat together? sparked a flurry of threads. Some said it was a PR stunt. Some said it was evidence of the validity of the love story notion. The image was analyzed like a Zapruder film and trended for days. Neither Caitlin nor Angel made any direct remarks throughout it all. When questioned about their rivalry at news conferences, Caitlin would slyly smile and respond, "It's just competition." Angel would then smile and add, "It's all love." That last sentence, "all love," sent the internet into a frenzy. It was snipped, labeled, and deemed the softest confirmation to yet by fans. Their tale had evolved beyond basketball by this time. It was about two young ladies who had enthralled the world with their relationship, whether genuine or imagined, as well as their talents. In the perspective of the public, rivalry had evolved into something more profound. Furthermore, the rumors were becoming more intense rather than lessening. After a Caitlin 3, Angel always grinned. After an Angel block, Caitlin always smiled. Fans viewed them not as rivals, but as a covert romance playing out in the open with every little bump, handshake after a game, and half-joke during interviews. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese were more than just adversaries by the conclusion of the season. They were legends of a new kind, celebrities whose relationship had taken over pop culture, transcended sports, and sparked a flurry of rumors that could not be contained by silence. And the issue still stood. Was it competition? Did they become friends? Was it a competition that had always been driven by love, or was the world seeing the greatest twist of all? Then a viral fan cam from a Fever versus Sky game became the cultural turning point. Caitlin made a dagger three-pointer over Angel in the closing seconds of the game. The audience burst out. Angel was seen on camera shaking her head in a mocking display of irritation, but she smiled when Caitlin sprinted back down the court. The fans' video captured Angel mouthing something that seemed to be, "You're crazy," after the two briefly locked eyes. Caitlin returned the smile. With subtitles like, "Enemies don't smile like this," the video went viral online, garnering 15 million views in a single day. All of a sudden, the story was folklore rather than just conjecture. Every game between them was seen by fans as more than just a basketball game. It was a Shakespearean tale playing out in shoes and jerseys, love disguised as rivalry. With titles like Forbidden Love, Reese x Clark, and From Rivals to Soulmates, the edits on TikTok were more than just romantic song sets. They were full-fledged fan fiction trailers that featured slow-motion highlights, post-game handshakes, and sideline banter, all of which were framed as though they were from a romantic comedy film. Sponsors took advantage of the craze. With the slogan, "Heat on the Court," a clothing company hinted to a forthcoming campaign. Fire off the court. It included the shadows of two players, obviously implying that they were Caitlin and Angel, strolling beside one another. As if it were subliminal affirmation, social media went crazy. One follower commented, "They know what they're doing," and the post quickly gained popularity. There was no denying the emotional effect on the supporters. Whether the rumor is real or not, young WNBA fans called it revolutionary. In a widely shared video, a fan said, "We've wanted stories in sports that reflect us for so long." LGBTQ+ organizations celebrated the popularity as evidence of increasing acceptance, describing it as a love story the world clearly wants to imagine. Seeing people speculate about Angel and Caitlin, even if it's exaggerated, feels like change. Of course, not everyone took part in the festivities. The media and fans were criticized for over-sexualizing a rivalry. However, the tidal surge of memes, edits, and continuous coverage drowned out the voices of several sports commentators who claimed that fans were reading too much into glances and laughs. The world had already determined that the conflict between Reese and Clark went beyond simple enmity. The plotline became unavoidable, even inside the WNBA. Some players gave cryptic clues, but others rolled their eyes when questioned. In an interview, one veteran remarked, "Love and basketball, it's not just a movie anymore." Another veteran grinned and said, "I'll let the fans decide," in response to reporters' questions about Angel and Caitlin. These sound bites only contributed to the mythology. Meanwhile, whether on purpose or not, Angel and Caitlin themselves stoked the fire. Reporters questioned Caitlin about the rivalry after a contentious game. She grinned and said, "It's always fun playing against Angel." When questioned about Caitlin a week later, Angel replied, I have nothing but respect for her. Videos of those remarks went viral, with romantic soundtracks added and slogans like "Respect House Love" pasted on them. Matching trainers worn during games were among the many fresh clues that the internet devoured. An alleged inside joke was captured on video, a silent giggle during a period of rest. Fans pointed out that both players had enjoyed the same love song, and the league's Spotify playlists were used as proof. Thousands of comments on threads said, "Coincidence? Not in my opinion." At this point, the story had taken precedence over reality. What had started out as a competition was now seen through the prism of a forbidden romance, whether it was imagined or real. It was no longer relevant if Angel and Caitlin were secretly involved. The myth, the tale, and the obsession were what counted. In one of the most bizarre and intriguing love scandals that athletics had ever seen, it had turned them from celebrities into cultural idols. And the question that permeates everything: how long could they truly keep it a secret if this wasn't just a rumor and the rumors were real? By the time the season reached its dramatic climax, basketball itself had been eclipsed by the Reese-Clark love story. Fans were no longer the only ones making predictions. Blogs, gossip columnists, podcasts, and even mainstream media were analyzing every look, grin, and handshake after a game. From rumors of rivalry, a rumored relationship that no one could ignore had grown into a cultural phenomenon. The leak that altered everything then appeared. A fan who claimed to be at an exclusive WNBA after-party posted a grainy TikTok late one evening. In the middle of the shaky, poorly lit film were two towering figures, one sporting the distinctive braids of Angel Reese, the other Caitlin Clark's slender figure, laughing together close to the bar. The video seemed to show Angel bending in and saying something into Caitlin's ear at one point. Caitlin grinned. "Rivals?" the fan wrote as a caption. "Or lovers? You make the decision." Immediately, the video went viral. Millions of views in a matter of hours transformed it into proof. Dark Clark-Reese love and caught off court trended throughout the world. Supporters zoomed in, slowed it down, and vowed that the body language was telling the truth. One modification repeatedly played Caitlin's smile as the song "Can't Fight This Feeling" played. Another edited the video to include Angel's iconic "You Can't See Me" gesture from the championship game, with the remark, "Maybe she always could." There was a flurry of theories. Some said it was an exaggerated moment of friendship. The relationship that the internet has long assumed was confirmed, according to others. The conspiracy element further fueled the flames as a crazed section claimed the league was hiding it, claiming the WNBA needed their rivalry to sell tickets and couldn't risk fans knowing the real story. Naturally, teammates were brought back into the forefront. When asked whether Caitlin and Angel were just rivals, one Fever player chuckled during a post-game interview. Her remark, "Depends on the day," was captured on camera and aired again. Fans deduced a hidden message from a mysterious Instagram story with two love emojis, one yellow and one purple, posted by Angel's Sky colleague. "We don't comment on players' personal lives," was the statement that league management were compelled to release. "We're focused on basketball." However, the story was already unstoppable. Twitter and TikTok were inundated with dramatic fan responses. Some cried on camera, claiming it was a beautiful portrayal if it were real, while others praised the purported disclosure, calling it the greatest love story in sports. A smaller fraction retaliated, claiming that romance was being created online where none existed. However, the deluge of fandom edits, memes, and threads saying "it's real" drowned out their voices. We were constantly aware. Sponsors also stepped forward. With the motto, "More than rivals," a major sportswear company debuted a new advertising campaign featuring both women. The commercial showed them smiling side by side in behind-the-scenes video after gazing down at each other on the court. It was seen by fans as a subtle reference to the rumors. "They aren't even hiding it anymore. Brands know," said one tweet that went viral. Angel and Caitlin remained silent as the chaos intensified. Both smiled politely while avoiding personal inquiries during interviews. Angel said, "It's all love," while Caitlin continued to add, "I'm focused on the game." This quiet only served to energize the internet. Without verification, conjecture turned into fact. Each smirk was seen as an admission. Every social media like was taken as evidence. in as evidence. Late in the season, at an intense post-game occasion, the crescendo occurred. At midcourt, Caitlin hugged Angel after a thrilling victory. The quick yet sincere embrace was captured on camera. Reporters yelled questions, fans roared, and the video quickly became widely shared. It was referred to be a sportsmanship gesture by others. It was a public proclamation, according to some. In one widely shared alteration, the words, "Enemies to lovers, arc complete," were superimposed over the embrace. The Reese Clark storyline was no longer about competition at the conclusion of the season. It was a legend. Fans trusted the narrative, whether it was real or not. It was dramatized in podcasts, recounted on TikTok, and shared on social media everywhere. Their rivalry had developed into a cultural myth of covert love concealed under ferocious rivalry, beyond athletics. Perhaps that's why the tale endured, because deep down, supporters were keeping an eye out for something more than basketball. They wanted to think there was something sensitive below the snide remarks, the looks, and the viral gestures. Human-like, a charming touch. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese never provided any confirmation. Perhaps they didn't have to, however. The world had already concluded that the competition that garnered the most attention was about love that was concealed in plain sight, not basketball. Thus, we are left with one of the most remarkable tales in women's basketball history after months of highlights, rumors, murmurs, and viral videos. Once just known for their intense rivalry, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark have evolved into much more in the eyes of the public. The competition itself has been transformed into something completely different, a love tale that the internet will not ignore. By analyzing, romanticizing, and mythologizing every gesture, joke, and look they exchange. Were the hints authentic? Could you see the chemistry? Or was it all the result of fans who were longing for romance, drama, and representation in a sport that already had their hearts? That remains the unsolved riddle. From the notorious "you can't see me" insult to the widely shared after-party video, from cryptic remarks made by teammates to advertising efforts that capitalized on the rumors, the Reese-Clark plot became more significant than the movie office results. The significance of those points was more important than who scored the most points. Perhaps this is the reason this narrative has such a profound impact. Because people now want storylines rather than simply rivalry. They want humanity, connection, and emotion. And the world has already anointed Angel and Caitlin as